all over Raya. Okay, so what we spoke about yesterday, so basically the main kasha over here, so we saw that there's we saw in with Yad Tzedakah. Machlokas by Yad Tzedakah, by is a Yad Tzedakah. We learn tzedakah from Korbanos. It's just like there's a Yad Korbanos, should there be Yad Tzedakah? So we said that there's a Machlokas Ramban and Ran. It's basically Ramban, Rashba, the Rif, all Rishonim say, right? Sofik the rice of the Chumrah. If the guy says, I'm going to give to the shul, he doesn't, and everyone says, I'm giving 100, giving 100, giving 100, he says, I'll also give. He doesn't say what it is. Does he also have to give 100? Is he chayav? Is he yad tzedakah? There's the fact that he started saying, he half said it. I think no, so I think he doesn't have to give anything. It's either a neder or it's not a neder. He didn't say in Moshe neder, he used the yad, whatever that case is. He says, and me, right? Me also. He didn't say, I'll also give $100, right? So we saw it's a machlekes Ramban and the Ran. So the Ramban was that it's something to rise. Of course you have to give. The Mishnah says the Gemara says teiku. Yesh al stock. Ayel stock. The Gemara says teiku. It's Gemara in the Dorim Daf. Tesam Adalef. Zayin Adalef. I forgot now. Tesam Adalef. It's the Bukhari. So it must be Zayin Adalef. Gemara in the Dorim Zayin Adalef. Yesh al stock. Ayel stock. Teiku. So what do you do in such a din teiku? Ramban says it's suffix device in the chumrah. You got a suffix when you have to give stock now. It's like any suffix device. If you ask the Rav, I'm simply if I say Kriya Shema, do I have to say it again? I'll say, yeah, it's suffix device in the chumrah. Say, I've got a suffix if I was sat in the sukkah, if I made Kiddush device, I do it again. Suffix device l'kula. But here, suffix device, suffix if it's in neder, do it again. You got to give the stock up. The Ran says, what are you talking about? It's not suffix device l'chumrah. This is suffix mominous. Sofik Mominus Lakula. The shayla is, who owns this $100 now? You or the Ani? You have to give this money to the Ani now. It's Mominus. Mominus, what's it in? Let the Ani, if the Ani takes you to the base, then might smell a raya. So he said, why is every Mominus also Sofik Deraisa L'chumra? It's an old question. Every Mominus is Sofik Deraisa L'chumra. The answer is that the Chayrim will say that you only have to do what the Shulchan Aruch will tell you to do, what the Beis Din will tell you to do. You don't have to be firmer than Beis Din. Beis Din says, then you're not chayav to be yetzer yedei chayv of suffix deraisa l'chumrah. The Torah is the suffix deraisa by moment says to keep the Shulchan Aruch, keep Chayshim Mishpat. Once Chayshim Mishpat says keep it, that's enough for me. Okay, and the Shach says this machlekes of Ramban and Ran isn't local. This is called Tarkula. No kashas? So we saw that you had the similar shayla by ribbis. If you have to give back the ribbis, it's machlekes. If you have to give back ribbis, right? And so what's and the din is what about suffix? Suffix ribbis deraisa. Ribbis the body you have to give back. But suffix, what about suffix ribbis deraisa? You have to give it back. It's the same machlekes. Is it mominus? Is it issa? Now we wanted to say that l'chayra. We want to say l'chayra. You can be paisha this shayla the machlekes Ramban and Ran from our Gemara. Our Gemara, l'chayra, couldn't be any clearer. It's a shayla, it's machlekes. It's a shayla of mominus. Suffix pidyon petach hamor. It's mominus. Even though it's also begizav vayda, whether he grabs it, that's irrelevant to this discussion. We're not talking about the isik gizav vayda. The shayla is you have to give the petach hamor to the kohen. The kohen says, I want my hamor, or I want my seh. And what's it then? Why not? It's suffix mominus. It's l'chayra. It's not just something. It's a suffix yisa.
What's the mitzvah?
What's the mitzvah?
But to give it.
L'chayra, it's a big machlekes. We'll see. That's l'chayra the shayla. What's the mitzvah? But you could say the Ran l'chayra has a starker right from here, suffix mominus, and Isser at the same time, and then it's a mitzvah l'raya. You don't have to pay. We definitely saw the Gra. We saw the Gra yesterday says that Everyone asked the question, why is there no shlichus by pidyon aben? Same pidyon, aben, pidyon petach hamor, same pidyon. Rush and the Ramah says, halacha l'maisa, there's no shlichus by pidyon, right? You can't do shlichus for pidyon aben. You can't make someone a shliach to be the pidyon aben for you.
Isn't the father really being the shliach for the kid?
No. The father is as b'chol bincha tifneh, as the pasuk says, something like that.
So, but if the father's not allowed, then the son has to do it.
If the father can't, the son has to do it to himself, right? Exactly.
So then
He has to pray to himself. No. The mitzvah goes to him, huh?
We have numerous cases of where there's a suffix in the mitzvah and the machlokes, whether you go to maximus position or minimalist position. For instance, a woman who's mafil 4 or 5 times, right?
Yeah.
Machlokes, does she bring 5 kavanas or 1?
Or one, yeah.
Right?
The suffix doraisa.
And same with Naziris and Chutzahs. Machlokes, they came to Israel. Right? Shama said to one 30-day Naziris, and Hillel says, no, you do. What if they come in salts and Chutzahs? They have to go here 4 or 5
Snakes.
Okay. Look, if we can paskin one way, we don't always have to be machmir. We can try and find the right and be machriya in one direction. You don't always have to be machmir. If there's achra, but when there's no achra, you have a suffix b'metzias, right? What's it then? You have to be machmir. You know, you got millions fakers and you're allowed to open bottles on Shabbos or not. You're allowed to, and there's a place can say this, there's a place can say that. You don't have to be machmir every time there's a suffix. But definitely when there's a suffix in metzias, something the right, so you should be machmer. If you could be, if you have a shita, a reason why you go be mako, then fine. You can be mako. So we said, is there a shlichus for pidyon aben? So we said the l'chayra, both of you the ketzayis and if you the taisis are in, you should be able to do shlichus for pidyon aben because it's not a mitzvah b'gofai, and there is a chalais in it. Places say you need to have a chalais to be doing shlichus. Yeah, there's a chalais partly, no partly. You should be able to do shlichus, right? So the Gemara says, halacha l'maisa. Of course, you can do shlichus for pidyon aben. It's not a mitzvah. It's just mominous. It's like paying off your debts. This is, paying off your balchai. You owe the guy money. You got to pay him. But the shach's learning obviously that pidyon aben is a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to give the bukhar. It's a mitzvah to give. You be mekayim mitzvahs. You can't do that with a shliach. That's the whole shaila over there. The chayru the Ramah is learning.
It's like tefillin.
Yeah.
It's like wearing tefillin.
Yeah. It's a mitzvah. You can't do shliach. Exactly.
Mitzvah.
Yeah. Well, no. It's not mitzvah should go fight, but the Ramah says you can't do it anyway, right? You can't do a shliach.
The Ramah says.
Yeah, the Ramah says you can't do a shliach. There's a kasha. Why not? L'chayra both feed the shita and the feed the ketzayis. You should be able to do shlichus over there, right? So there's a lot of people say that, I don't have any clear mahal over there why the Ramah says you can't do a shliach.
The Mikras argument?
Yeah, the Gemara's arguing with the Ramah. It says of course you can do a shliach.
Now the war.
There's a lot of people doing shlichus for pidyon aben, right?
Is there, what about mitzvah b'yosem? Like, is there a din here? Like,
By kedushin is mitzvah b'yeshem b'shluchai. I don't know if that's a klal everywhere.
No,
Mitzvah b'yeshem b'shluchai, huh?
Doesn't
I'm
mean
saying, would it be different here based on how you understand, like, if it's a chov or it's a mitzvah?
If it's a chayiv, then you could do a shliach. Why is there any mitzvah b'yeshem b'shluchai? It's just paying off a guy.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like, oh, guy money.
Only
Thing
you can
is,
make a
yeah.
shluchah.
Huh?
Isn't a requirement. It doesn't mean you can't do the shliach.
Yeah, you can.
You have a
You
greater
can.
mitzvah
Yeah,
for yourself?
Yeah, but to
right.
pay off your own debt, there's no Iyun that you should have to pay off your own debt if you can't just send it with another guy.
Now,
Like,
The bank transfer.
no, I don't do bank transfer.
Okay.
Pay you in
then we saw yesterday that there's a Mishnah in Bechairis. We're not going to do it again because we saw it yesterday. Where's the Mishnah in Bechairis? In Daf. I think it's Chavav on the base. It's page 94. I don't know where it is. Page 94. It says like this. The Gemara says suffix tle. If you have a suffix, if something's suffix tle, suffix leket. If you're not sure if something's leket, you got to give it to Yanni. You got to give it to Yanni. Well, what's going to be the din? I'll read it aside. We're going to hand it out. What's the din by? Sorry, wrong page. It's in Kuf Lamadal and for Cholin. Gershon is guy heißt der Par Nishchata. Actually, this guy a Potter, which is guy a Chai. So the din is you're supposed to give matnas kunata to the Kayan, Zraya, Lachaim, Keva. 3 things you're supposed to give to the Kayan, right? There's no kedusha in it. You got to give him the Zraya, Lachaim, and Keva. And the Gemara says the goy who shechs doesn't have to give. A yid shechs has to give. This guy's about to be Megayer. He makes a shliach, shech for me. He's about, when I come out of the mikvah from the Geras, I want to buy steak. I want to celebrate. So he makes a shliach. Now, if he shechted before he's Megayer, you don't have to give the Zraya L'chaim and Keva. If he shechted after he dipped, he's got to give it. What happens if we're not sure, was it before he dipped or after he dipped? Is he chayiv in the Zraya L'chaim and Keva? That's the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Sofek, what's it in? Pata, might have a raya. It's marvelous. You don't have to give it.
He gave it to a shochet. He doesn't know when the shochet did it.
He doesn't have a chef. He's a guy. Yeah.
It's like exactly the same as a
Petach
Hamor.
Hamor. So you got the same. So the Gemara here doesn't talk about Petach Hamor, but the Gemara is very clear. Sofek of Leket of Zroy L'chaim Mekeba. What's it in? A mighty mechaver olav raya. The Gemara asks, so why by Leket do we say Sofek Leket? You got to give it to Aniyim, and here you don't have to give it to Aniyim. So the Gemara says, because it says in the pasuk, Ani v'rash atstiku. You say, well, once a week in Shachris, now you know what it means. You gotta, when you got the Sofek Leket, that's the din. Now, why is the Sofek Leket, why does that not apply to Sofek of the Kohen? Why don't you give Matnas Kuna? So you'd say, he's not an Ani, the Kohen's not an Ani. Why doesn't say that? The Gemara is assuming Sofek, Ani v'rash atstiku would apply to Kohen. The Kohen's an Ani also, I don't know why. Right, whatever the drush would be. The Gemara doesn't say the Ani is not on the drush of Ani V'Rosh Tztiku. The Gemara says, you know why you don't have to give to the Kayin? Because the Goy was Becheskes Goy Potter. But the Yid, there's a Cheskes Chiyav. He's got the Soda was Chayav. It's therefore the Sofek Chiyav. What's the Gemara's Lashon? The Gemara says, Amarava, Para Becheskes Petura Chayma. So that's the Gemara's chiluk, right? The Gemara says by Leket there's a cheskas chiyuv. That's why Sofek Leket you got to give it. There's a cheskas chiyuv. But by Matis Kuna is a cheskas chiyuv. No, this guy's a goy. He was a goy. He was a cheskas potter. Therefore, he doesn't have to give the Zraya L'chaim Mekeba to the kohen. The obvious question is, which we left with yesterday, if I remember correctly, what about Petach Hamor? There's a cheskes chiyuv there, right? He's a yid. We're not talking about a goy who has a donkey. A yid's got a donkey. Now you got a sofek. Is it bachar, not a bachar? So you should give it. Why is it? Why do we say it's for the varaya? Why is the din by sofek Petach Hamor different to sofek Zraya L'chaim Mekeba?
What is cheskes?
They're both manas kuna.
What does cheskes mean?
Cheskes chiyuv means. Let's see Rashi.
Stuff was growing in the field. The grain was growing in the field.
Yeah, but there's nothing that he always drops grain, and you only drop a couple drops, right? If you drop too much, the honey doesn't get it.
If you don't drop anything, right? If you don't drop anything.
So what does cheskes chiyuv mean?
He was a bachi of
Because it depended where, it's a question of geography, of location, where the stalks fell. If the stalks fell close to the grains that he hasn't yet cut, so there it's not from Leket.
Because he might drop more.
Because he still had machshava to continue cutting that grain right next to where those couple of stalks fell. But if they were a little further,
So then there's no chiyuv.
so in that case there's no chiyuv.
If he's continuing, if only if it's at the end of his cutting.
That's the suffix of leket. When we don't know exactly where it fell.
There are a few suffixes of it. Depends which direction you're cutting.
No, but like the case there of suffix leket, you think it's
Yeah,
what?
it depends whether those couple of stalks fell. They fell right next to uncut grain, so therefore it belongs to the bottom side.
So it's a good kasha. You're gonna have to say like a vote there. Ish mokum lagid pa taira. What's the chid? What's the difference? I'm sure there's a lot of pshat. I'm sure there's a lot of explanations. But this is the kasha. Murder kasha, and the Shagasari says in Turiyav, and he says that you know what the difference is. he says, hold on a second. Let me finish this out. He said, there's Roy L'chaim Keba, right? Do you have to give the Kayan? You don't have, by Roy L'chaim Keba, you have to give the Kayan the Roy L'chaim Keba. If he wants to, he can give it back to you, he can sell it to you, he can do whatever he wants with it. But if the Kayan says, don't give me money, I want this Roy L'chaim Keba, I'm hungry. The Kayan comes to the store of the, he comes to the farm, he says, I need this Roy L'chaim Keba, making a simcha for the Kahanim, I need my Roy L'chaim Keba. You can't say, yeah, you can take $50 instead. He owes him, that's the Kayan's chayfetz. He's taking what's his, right? It's his Roy L'chaim Keba. But by picking a chamor, can the Kayan say, I want the chamor, I want the seh? No, the guy can be paid it. He can't say I want the chamor. He can be paid it. He doesn't have the chayfetz, right? Okay.
I'm not really sure to clear the question. Isn't it the same deed?
No.
Both of them almost equal all of that, no?
No. To buy
Therefore.
yeah, no, but the Gemara says why? Because he's muhsek.
Okay, yeah.
He's muhsek. But there's no muhsek by you don't have that swear by Petach Hamor.
I was saying, he has the donkey.
Hold on. The shot is there's a cheskes chiyuv here. By Yisrael L'chaim Keba, there's no cheskes chiyuv because the guy was a goy. That's why you say how much for the raya. Mashma, if there wouldn't be a goy, you'd have to pay, right? But here, but you see from
even if it was a seven.
yeah. The only reason why he's part is because there's the Gemara says there's a cheskes p'tor. That's why he's part. He's a goy. But you see from Kayan, but you see by Petach Hamor, you anyway say how much go over raya.
So basically, the question is more from Sheket Leket Vs Chamor. That there you say it's higher, even though it's a seven.
Lailak you say it's chayiv, but that's because of only Rosh Tzniku. Right. Yeah, but that's a kasha. Why by? In other words, the question is going to be why by Leket why by Leket you say pato, huh?
Chayiv.
By Leket you say chayiv, and by here by Matas Kumi you say pato.
Right.
That's a kasha. And you can't say cheskes chayiv. Here there's a chazaka, there's no chazaka. You can have the same kasha. They're both chazaka. So why by Leket are you chayiv? That's a better way of asking the kasha. That's more accurate. The kasha is now by Leket we say Sofik Leket Yichayev, and by Petach Hamor you say Sofik Hamor Petach Hamor Pata. You can't and in brackets don't tell me that this is a Cheskes Chiyuv. They're both the same thing. They're both Cheskes Chiyuv, right? You can't tell me the Gemara's answer by the one's a Cheskes Chiyuv. They're both the same thing. So why is there no Chiyuv by Matas Kohana?
That applies also
But that applied. But you see, with the Gemara didn't answer that. The Gemara could have said, if the Gemara asked why by the Gemara could have answered. The Gemara didn't say only Rosh Hashanah doesn't apply to Kohana. The Gemara says Cheskes Chiyuv. It's mashma the din of only Rosh Hashanah doesn't apply. There's no chilik between.
apply.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Leket, Manas Kuna is the same thing. Only Rosh Hashanah. There's no chilik. That would be good if the Gemara said, you know what? You know why you don't have to give, why Sofik, Zoy Lachem Keba, you don't have to give? There's only Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara doesn't say anything. The Gemara says, Cheskes Chiyuv. It's mashma, that's not a chiluk. For whatever reason, the Kanim or Laniyim, I don't know how you want to dirish it, but that's not a chiluk.
You said by Petach Hamor, the coin is more clear because you told it. You say, I don't want to give it to you.
Right. You have to go to.
You start to give that money to the Kohen.
So if you paid the seh, you got to be paid to the chamor b'seh, and then it says yeah, it does, but it's a suffix. You don't have to give it to him. It's a mitzvah varaya. Same thing. You don't have to give him the seh. You have to be paid. That's what we saw of him in this
what do you do with
thing in Bukhairis. You keep it, you eat it. That's what we just saw in the Mishnah in Bukhairis. You got to be paid to the seh. Now it's a mitzvah varaya. Keep it. What do you want with it?
If the Bava does a rafter, cuts off the head, is it fine?
Or
Yeah, so if he doesn't do a pidyon, it says vim like tifta v'after. You break the, you cut the a reefer. It's like taking an axe to the back of the head.
Yeah. No,
Right.
so it could be that because he has a way out, maybe that's why.
Therefore, what do you? What's
There's no chiyuv.
There's no chiyuv to do a pidyon.
Coin has no tvira because he can always say varafta.
He doesn't have a tweet. Don't even get to our after. That's the nukud the shakasari. He could say, I don't want to give you the chamal. I'll give you a sal. You know, it could be played on something else. With Israel Chaim Keba, he could say, I want Israel Chaim Keba. The question is my nafkamina? Okay, you said it's chiluk, but why should that make a difference? Why does that make any nafkamina? The fact that he can say, I want the Israel Chaim Keba, and he can't say, I want the chamal. Right? So, come along, Samachayim, and they explain as follows. The Imre Bina, he says, what does the pasuk Ani Vasha Stika tell me? Means you got to do. What does stalker mean? It means like you got to be kind to people. No, stalker means just a chesed stalker. So tzedek terdot. Like do what's just. It doesn't mean give the ani like do chesed with him. It means give him what's his. That's what ani Vasha Stika means. Don't be after the din of the ani.
People that can't pay for their own lawyer take care of it, basically. People can't make their own finance.
Yeah, I think help him get justice. Doesn't mean do a chesed to the guy, right? So what's the nukudah here? If the guy's muchzuk, basically what they explain is that all the pasuk saying is that he becomes a muchzuk in the chayfetz. So when there's a chayfetz here that he owns, he's got the zoyla chayim keba, he becomes muchzuk in it. It belongs to the kayin. So you can say, on Rosh Nikkel, give him what's his. He's muchzuk in it. Give him it. It's his Zohar L'chaim Keba. Give it to him. The kohen has like a bilis on the Zohar L'chaim Keba. You got to give it to him. But by Petach Hamar, he's got no bilis on the Hamar. He's got to give me the. There's no tzad he can demand it. He's not muchzuk on it. There's no chazaka on the chaytetz Hamar. The guy can say, take money, take a set. Therefore, the pasuk of Rosh Nikkel doesn't apply. Therefore, Rizzo didn't want Rosh Nikkel. That's why you don't have to give him the it doesn't become muchzuk. The question is who's muchzuk on the chayfetz?
But it's still not really muchzuk like that. So in Israel Chaim Keva,
He's-
as soon as he
on the
shacks
side-
it belongs to the
On the
kohen.
side that it's a chiyuv, right?
Whereas
on the side that Zohar L'chaim Keba is
it's
chayiv, so he's muchzuk in it. So give him what's his. So he's saying, where there's a suffix, give him what's his. So where there's a suffix Zohar L'chaim Keba, it says he's muchzuk on it. Give it to him. Right? There's a suffix and he's muchzuk on it. On the side that it says he's muchzuk, give him what's his. But on the side that Petach Hamar is chayiv, right? It's not his. It's definitely not his
He's
Hamar.
incurred a debt.
There's no, yeah. But on the side that he's not muchzuk on anything, then there's a din of muchzuk right. You got to, who's muchzuk? I'm muchzuk on my money. You want me to give you a set now? That's, prove it to me. Okay, it's interesting vault, you know. Da'ilim, here's it. I didn't do a good job explaining it, obviously. Okay.
Maybe too good job. Too partial.
Is it saying the chazaka or is it saying chazaka? Because if you would be saying chazaka, it makes a little bit more sense, because over there that's what the Gemara makes the chiluk, right? It says that here there's a chazaka,
He's got-
of chiluk and here's a chazaka of shtum.
Yeah.
Spread.
So if he's going with that, it makes more sense, because also Petach Hamor is a chazaka of chiluk.
Cheskes chiyuv. No, the Nakuda is the chayfetz is the chayfetz in his rishus.
It's not. Not in Zohar L'chaim Keva, not Leket Vs Chamor, not Petach Hamor. All that.
He's got he's got cheskes bilis on it. You must give him that if we know for sure that it's the Bukhar, then whose is it? He's the bilim. He's got a chazaka. Huh?
Only when Makiri Kohen.
That says you got to be talking about Makir Kohen. The whole mission is already talking about Makir Kohen.
Okay,
So he's muchzuk. He's muchzuk in it.
It's not chazaka, but within the Zohar L'chaim Keva. It's chazaka within Makiri Kohen. It's a different part.
I'm not. I think once he's saying he's a muhsuk, he's a muhsuk on it. Once it's makirei kuna, he gets it. He's a muhsuk. He can grab it. He's a muhsuk on it.
Let's assume he's muzak, and so what is it saying? Because he's muzak, so then atzdiku to give it to him.
Yeah, give it to him. He's muhsuk on
And why
it.
don't-
So by petach hamar, where you can't demand the hamar, there's no chayt that he's muhsuk on, so you can't demand anything. You don't muhsuk on my money,
What,
right?
He's going with the shagasari?
Yeah, he's explaining the shagasari. But by Israel Chaim Keba, since he's muhsuk on the chayfetz, it's his. I've got a din it. It's mine. On the side that it's mine, I'm muhsuk on it. So give him what he's muhsuk in.
So he's a continuation.
Yeah. He's just explaining pshat in the shagasari. But that's what you have to say. Sometimes bechilek like that. Okay. Now. So you got the Suffolk Petach Hamar, right? Suffolk Petach Hamar. Do you have to be mafresh the seh or not? So we saw you have to be mafresh the seh. You don't give the seh, right? So normally, right, if you have truma, let's say, there's issa. You got tevel. You can't eat tevel. You got to do afrosha. You got to take trumas and maisus. Now that you don't eat the trumas and maisus because we're not kain, I don't know why. We don't know who's a real kain. You got to take afrosha and you give it to the animals in the ganachayot, right? That's what they do with that, I think, right? No, you ever heard that? What?
Institutions do it.
No, they don't.
They burn it, no?
No, I think they.
Give it to the animal. A coin
They
owns
give
the
it.
animal.
The kohen owns the animal. They
Fire
give it to the kohen's animal. They.
and they-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's covered, you can't just.
Yeah. So but you got to do a frosh in order to be matir the issa. Question is, why by Bukhar do you have to do a frosha? Is there issa by a frosha or is there no issa by a frosha? Why is there issa by petach hamar? The Mishnah says you got to do a frosha, right? And you keep it to yourself. So, but there's no issa. What's the point of doing a frosha if you're not giving it to the kohen? Isn't the whole mitzvah giving it to the kohen?
No, because you can chop off the skin.
The
So
chamar.
it's not called the skin, it's not really.
But by a suffix, right? We're talking about a suffix here. Suffix chamar, you're not chopping off anyone's head in the meantime. You mafresh the seh.
Accented it.
Without that, if you don't mafresh seh, you got to do a frosha. The mission is you got to do a frosha by petach hamar, right? You got to do a frosha. What?
Guys from
Democrats can't shoot. That's what they discovered yesterday. Funny. So that's the mission. The mission says by pidyon aben you got to by petach hamor you got to do a frosha, right? You got to do a frosha, but you can eat it. What about pidyon aben? Is there a chiv a frosha or not? By a suffix pidyon aben, do you have to be mafresh a slime? You got a suffix pidyon aben. Do you have to be mafresh a slime?
What's the suffix of it in
Suffix b'chor, suffix ein b'chor.
the?
You don't have to give the money to the
Put it
kohen.
on the side, just put it in the drawer.
Do you have to be mafresh?
Earth Yamamela.
Huh?
The mafresh and then before that? What is it? Like,
Keep it. Keep it.
We have to, when you do Truma and Matzah, you
In
throw
other
it
words,
in
it's a
the
suffix. So, but
garbage.
the card you got
You
to.
throw it in the garbage, like Truma and Matzah. So you mafresh the 5 slime.
Good, but there's but Shumas Amais is kedusha. By pidyon chamor and pidyon aben, there's no kedusha. There's just a thing. You mafresh and you give it to the kohen, right? So by suffix petach chamor, you do a frosha, but you keep it, you eat it, right? So what's it then by suffix pidyon aben? Do you have to do a frosha or you don't have to do a frosha b'chal? Is there any point? Is there any tachlis in doing a frosha? Or what's a frosha for? Like what's the point? If you don't give it, is the whole mitzvah to give it to the kohen, or the mitzvah is to be mafresh? So we saw yesterday, there's a Rashi, you can see it again, that's mashma, that you have to be mafresh, even if you're not giving it. And therefore, l'chayru by suffix petach hamor, pidyon aben, you got to do a frosha, you got to do a frosha. Where is this Rashi? Huh? You take out 5 slides, say this is the,
What? But like you're not giving. The whole point is you're paying
Putting
a
it
kohen. You're paying a
Put
kohen
it
for
right back in
something.
your pocket.
It's like a joke. It's like, no, I went to steal something from this store, but I put money aside. Is it okay?
So the Gemara, so the Gemara says, I'll tell you outside the case because it's getting very late, and I want to actually read some of the Minchas Chinuch inside. That's gewaldig. So the case is like this: you got a kohen who marries a grusha, the son's a challah, right? This is what we spoke about yesterday. You asked what's in the game. Kohen marries a grusha, the son's a challah. He's the b'chol. Does he have to do pidyon haben? Yeah, he's a challah. He's like Yisrael Koldova. He needs a pidyon haben. So the kohen could take. He's got to be mafresh. He's got to take. He's got to get pidyon haben. He's got to pay pidyon haben, right? Now Chazal will kindness him that he can't take the money himself. So he's got to give pidyon haben to another kohen. What happens if he's megarsha in the meantime? Then he can give himself the money. He can take pidyon haben and give himself, right?
He does tshuva. He's chayzer.
There's no more knas. Now he can take the money, right? So take a look. You know what? We'll see it inside. Take one of these. Pass them around. In the meantime, I'll try and
Does it
find
matter
it.
if he got divorced because they just stopped liking each
Can't be
other, or
married,
if
no.
he's doing tshuva?
Um,
Is divorce automatically considered tshuva?
Of course.
What? I don't know.
It's like the day you get married, you get forgiven for all your sins. The day you get divorced, called chaymer.
Top of the page. Top of the page. So the case here, the like Rashi, take a look in Rashi. So just the Gemara from the top. Kain shemeis v'lich ben chalal. Rav Chisda Amar ben Chayv liftes es atzmai. So this Kain's married to Grusha, and he has a son that's a chalal, right? And then he dies. So the son has to be paid himself. Rabbi V'nai ben Chayv liftes es atzmai. Why? If the father died after 30 days, he does not have to be paid himself. Why? The father had to do pidyon haben. He had to take the money himself. Therefore, the son's yerush that's chus.
Look at it as if he was already nifta.
So we'll see Rashi. So we'll see Rashi in a minute. Good question. We'll see Rashi. Take a look in Rashi. Second line in Rashi. What does it mean? What's going on over here? What does it mean the father was zeicha in the pidyon? If he dies after 30 days, when the pidyon was chal, he has to pay it on 30 days. So once 30 days hit, then the father would be zeicha. The inami yoev ha'av of a mafresh le v'shakalei l'nafshei. So the father, after 30 days, what happens? The father would be mafresh and take it for himself. The kohen who is a kohen. They came into the zecha'av, but b'dayne marish lebnoi b'shanachosov. So now the father, he does this hafrosha, takes it out of his right pocket, puts it in his left pocket, and then the son gets the money. So the son's potter. But the nekudah is that, well, they bring the right from Rashi says, the father's mafresh. Doesn't say that the father doesn't have to be mafresh, he's a kohen. He doesn't have to do anything. You see that there's a mitzvah of a frasha, even though it doesn't do anything. And the Marit al-Ghazi says, you see from here, by Suffolk Bukhar also, there's a chiyuv to be mafresh. Even if you don't have to give the money, because it's a mitzvah of a raya, there's then a mitzvah of a raya, you don't have to pay, but you still got to be mafresh.
In this case, it doesn't say the kohen divorced his wife, the grusha.
Okay, but
So he's married to the grusha, and we're still considering it as if he was part of the kid himself, with his giving himself the money.
yeah, because it's
how
only
do I know when he's,
it's a darabana that he shouldn't take it. Yeah, but the rice is.
It's a medic case. It's a medic.
Machlokes exists with regard to koi.
This is sorry, I couldn't have.
A similar machlokes exists with regard to koi. Remember the koi, the strange animal?
Yeah.
There's a din of chai and behem, etc.
So she's mafresh.
Mafresh.
Oh yeah.
No. Mafresh.
The last my he doesn't have to give it.
No, but machlokes is the Tanakh says when it comes to the chaim, the keva. Tanakh says it has to be mafresh. But as it says,
Go prove it.
Right.
So here also, yeah, same thing. He's got to be mafresh, but you keep it. So you see, but the difference is like here. You might think that only by a chamar or by a kvi or whatever, where there's an isser, you can't use the chamar. It's also you got to be araftai, you got to kill it. You might think only by that there's a din of frosha. Why is that? There's no isser on the bukhar Yisrael until there's no isser like to be nana from a yid who hadn't got a pidyon aben. There's no isser on the yid. Why is there mitzvah frosha? Frosha l'chayr is to take away the isser. You take away there's truma, there's mices. You got to take away. You do up frosha and then you burn it. What's the point of frosha by pidyon aben?
It's not a very momentous thing. It's indicating that we're talking about Israel.
There's no issa. There's no issa by pidyon aben. What's the issa? There's no issa on
To be money
There's a mitzvah.
it means nothing in momentous. It's like it's nonsense.
Chayro.
He's learning from your perspective. Here's the Vada.
It's a vadai.
How is he learning that it's
Because you see from here there's an Iyun to be mafresh, even though you're not giving it to anyone. There's two. The shaila is like this question: is there a mitzvah lahafresh on a pidyon aben, or is the mitzvah to give to the kohen? You see from here, Rashi says you got to be mafresh, even if you didn't give it to kohen. You can't.
Even if you yourself are the Kohen, you're going to take 5. Oh,
How is that pidyon aben? You keep it right. Why'd you do that? Just keep it in your right pocket. Don't take it from the right to the left. Keep it in the right pocket. You see that the afrosha, you mechuyev in afrosha, even if you don't give it. So sofek pidyon aben, you're not going to give it to the kohen. I don't want to give the kohen my money to sofek, but at least do afrosha. There's a separate mitzvah. Who argues with Rashi that there's no mitzvah afrosha by pidyon aben? They got a Taisus. Take a look at Taisus. Taisus says, what are you talking about? Aben chayev liftais esatzmai, top Taisus. Why does the ben have to do pidyon? The halal is zocha b'pidyon. Al chayev aben liftais esatzmai. Alpha got the leke chiyuv b'aav. The father never had a chiyuv. He's arguing with Rashi. Rashi says there's a chiyuv. He does afrosha. Taisus says there's never a chiyuv by the there's never a chiyuv by the father.
Do you understand the Gemara?
Taisus, hemshich, I'm the hemshich of Taisus.
So what's the chilek 30 days, not 30 days?
You mean when they dies?
30 days, was there a chiyuv?
Yeah, either way. You're right. Either way, if the father dies on this tzad, he's chayav pidyon aben. Whether the father dies before 30 days, he dies after 30 days.
That's not what
he's
the
chayav
Gemara
pidyon
says.
aben.
The Gemara is clearly talking about 30 days.
So hey, keep ligegen the meeste twee Shiur. That's a machlekes. That's a machlekes. If he dies within 30 days, is he chayav pidyon aben. Keeping alacha shleishim yoyim kulam lepig the end ben chayav v'tais if it's a zatzmai. Right. After 30 days,
The chiyuv never came.
After
The chiyuv
this
only
is
comes
shul
at the
pater.
30-day mark.
huh?
Chiyuv of pidyon only comes at the 30-day
Right.
mark.
So within
If
so
he died before the 30 days, the chiyuv never.
so then the
fell.
ben's chayav. That's a machlekes. After 30 days, I'm not sure what's bothering you. Very clear.
What?
Do we say that the ben's chayav liftis is atzmai? Taisus explaining the side of the Gemara that the ben has to do a pidyon, right? The machlekes Rashi Taisus is why does a ben chayav do a pidyon? Is it because the father?
According to Tosfos, the ben's always chayav because the father was never chayav.
The father was never chayav, therefore the ben's chayav, right?
30 days, not 30 days.
The Gemara is clearly not saying that.
That's what I'm asking.
Right.
According to Tosfos, he
So
said
how does Taisus understand
that the
the
father's not chayav.
Maybe Taisus is talking Americas though. Just saying.
Yeah, he's
Rav
Rav
Huna.
Rav Chisda, yeah, he's not Rav Chisda, exactly.
Rav Chisda.
He's not Rav Chisda, Ben Chavis is Mazlei. To loy zacha. Maybe Jainai. Exactly. Yeah. Ben Chavis is as me, those who was Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda, but Ben Chavis is as my, the loy zacha of it. Why is it loy zacha? Because he was never back, he never had a chiyuv. Never, the father had never had a chiyuv.
Not 30, not before 30.
Exactly. Right. If you fix it, he's always chayiv. Yeah? If you fix it, he's always chayiv. Before 30, after 30. We'll just quickly take 5 minutes. Take a look at the Minchas Chinuch on the subject. We're not going to see the whole thing, obviously.
Oh, wow.
But
What is this?
I have any ones on trees. Yeah.
This is the ultimate Rahmanas on trees.
Good model that
What
it
better
says.
thing can you do with
Yeah.
trees than compare them?
I don't know whoever decided to print this thing. Everything's like Rosh Hashanah in here, which makes the whole thing like 1,000 times more complicated. It's unbelievable. How much ink are they saving by putting in the Rosh Hashanah for everything? I
And
don't
then
know.
do double space.
Whoever decided that has to. You have to have serious discussions with these people. You know what? Okay, so Nir Midivrei Harav Mechaber, right? I think that's what Rosh Hashanah means. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the Ramchal, I'm not sure. The nice and Tam Mitzvah Arifa. Now, the question is, before we go any further, the question on the sugya remains, right? Back up as I before you see inside this whole shtickle. The question is, in a nutshell, we understand in our Gemara that you have the Suffolk Bukhar, you don't have to give it to Kain or Mitzvah Raya, right? But there's a kasha. And the kasha is, what happened to Mitzvah Arifa? Im late if they have a raftai. Okay, you don't have to give it to the Kain, Suffolk the Raya, Raya. You did your frosha, you mafresh you didn't do your frosha, sorry. You could do a rifik. You don't want to do a pidyon. You don't want to give your set to the kayan. The Torah says, if the after you've got a mitzvah here, varifa, and l'chayra, you should be chayvit. Sofik the rice l'chomer, sofik arifa l'chomer. Like, go do your arifa, chop off the donkey's head, right? What happened to that sofik? What happened to that? What happened to that chiyuv? Okay. Now, remember the Rav Mechaber the chinuch. The next time a mitzvah rifa. Why is there a mitzvah rifa? Come over in B'chayres Daf Yodam Beis. It says Tani Levi who hits the Momein Shakayin the Fichach Yusuf B'Mainai. This is what the chinuch says. The reason why you do an arifa, you don't want to give the kayan the chamar, it's a chop off its head. It's a knas. It's a knas. You think you're going to get away with stabbing the kayan in the back? No. You have to do an arifa. V'nei Rambam kan leine gam ken mitzvah da arifa b'chal taryag. Arifa is one of the taryag mitzvahs in the Torah, one of the 613. It's amazing because I never really learned anything about arifa until now. Mitzvah arifa is one of the taryag mitzvahs. Chop off a donkey's head. Who was ever behind the mitzvah arifa? Anyone did it?
It's a very good mitzvah.
In modern days, it's not too many people.
I know it's one of the taryag. There's an Indian.
If you don't give it
there's an Indian Mekayim, one of the taryag mitzvahs. But Raiva the Sigai, you ask you're saying like the Raiva baby. But Raiva the Sigai, Sheinzu mitzvah veru. What are you talking about? This is a mitzvah. This is not veru. You're supposed to be paida. If you're not paida, you do an arifa. It's not a mitzvah. It's a veru. Why is the Rambam saying it's a mitzvah? I know veru. Mazik mamakayin. He's a mazik. It's an averu. Now the Marit Al-Ghazi says, b'shem, he has a whole pirish on Bukhari. He's one of the big Kutchin people. But the Ghazi have b'shem God lecha toma gam ken al mishnah lama amar mitzvah p'dia kaid le mitzvah rifa nira da rifa mitzvah he has a kasha on the mishnah, but the mishnah says mitzvah rifa is kaid le mitzvah of p'dia. It's like the last mishnah. There's no gemara on it even. It's very strange. Like did I print it? Like the only mishnah there's no gemara. Like go straight to the next parent. Mitzvah rifa kaid le mitzvah p'dia. So mitzvah p'tiyah kaida mitzvah arifa. You see the arifa is a mitzvah. But Levi was a manashakaine, right? Near the lake of mitzvah arifa. Rako knas. What do you mean it's a mitzvah? It looks like from Levi it's just a knas. Because of Zal Zel Machlek is a Rambam Marayvid. So he says that this is a Machlek is Rambam Marayvid. Because of Zal Shematzah b'mechilta, the Zel Shainai, b'imlei tifne v'arafta, mekan omer shemitzvah b'diya kaida mitzvah arifa. The lashon is b'imlei tifne v'arafta. It's like it's a b'diya. Right? So you see that the whole mitzvah arifa is b'di'evet. It's not a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah to do arifa. It's only if you mustard momish l'kayin, it's a knas. Ha'mechilta imkein mefurish yetz mechilta the base purushim and base rushes yesh b'parsha zu the lefi the pirush echad arifa's mitzvah and the mitzvah b'dikademas. According to one side, arifa is a mitzvah. Just what's a bigger mitzvah? But he is a bigger mitzvah. You got two mitzvahs, one's bigger than the other one. But the Pirish Beis, lav mitzvah, le mishum kanasa. It's not a mitzvah b'chal, it's just a kanas. You don't become a mitzvah. You don't go to mitzvah and say, l'shem yichud could you bring a mitzvah arifa? It's a
Bigger mitzvah or
kanas.
it's an earlier mitzvah, meaning in the timeline, Padilla comes first.
No, he means
if you don't do Padilla, then you have
no,
a
he means it's a bigger mitzvah. It's a mitzvah kadesh. You got two mitzvahs in front of you. Should I do a pidyon or should I do an arifa? What should you do first? First do an arifa. First do a padilla. Second side is it's a kanas.
Or is it just, is it because you didn't do pidyon, or because there was no kahanim?
So you ready? I don't want to, there's a whole shtickle. I don't want to keep you. It's already 11 o'clock. I'll read it for everyone to stay. But you can say straight away, what's the side over here? Why is there no mitzvah arifa here? Because the whole side of the arifa is a kanas. You didn't give the moment to the kain. Right? On that, so you have a chakiri. What's a mitzvah? Is that a mitzvah? And in which case you say mitzvah d'oraisa l'chumra do the arifa. What do you say? Nah, it's not a mitzvah d'oraisa l'chumra. The whole mitzvah of Torah is it's not a mitzvah. It's just a knas. If you don't want to give the money to Kohen, take a knas. But here, guess what? I don't have to give the money to Kohen because it's a suffix. But maybe I don't have to go ahead and do arifa. What is the mitzvah arifa? Is it like putting on tefillin? Or is it no? The Torah says knas. You don't want to pay the Kohen? We nailed it. It's a whole long piece. It's very late. I don't want to keep it. If you want, maybe we'll see a bit. What day is tomorrow? Okay, maybe we'll start off the share with we'll see a little bit of the wow. Streichel coming very off the page sugya. I thought we'd do something no Bava Metzia did. Learn some other Torah, get some general knowledge. If anyone has to opinion of Ben, you'll have some Torah.